Thank you, Chairman Biggs, and thank you everybody for being here today to discuss what is actually a difficult topic, and it illustrates where we are as a country, that we would even have to talk about this. But to lay out some of the facts that brought us here specific to this press conference, in March 2022, progressive anti-abortion uprising activists claimed to have obtained a box from a whistleblower that contained 115 aborted children from the Washington Surgery Clinic, a facility operated by the late-term abortionist Dr. Santangelo. 5 of these babies appeared to have sustained injuries, suggesting they were killed using the illegal partial birth abortion method, which I won't describe at this press conference. Or perhaps they were born alive and just abandoned to die, one of the two. Title 18, Section 1531 of the U.S. Code makes partial birth abortion illegal. Thousands of pro-life activists called on the D.C. Metropolitan Police to investigate this gruesome slaughter of these innocent 5 babies, investigate their killer, Dr. Santangelo, and to give these little ones a proper burial. D.C. Metro Police dismissed them as legally aborted medical waste and refused to perform an autopsy, investigate the murder, or seek justice for these 5 children. The DOJ has directed the D.C. medical examiner to destroy the remains of the bodies of the DC-5. And I'm thankful to our colleagues here today who advocated, who stepped in the gap, Chairman Roy, Chairman Biggs, and Congressman Fallon. These babies before that never had anyone to advocate for them, and the very law enforcement tasked with protecting the most vulnerable in our society that has become complicit in covering up the cold-blooded murder of these precious lives. The Washington Post, citing 2 anonymous sources, reported in 2022 that the D.C. Medical Examiner's Office, again, had no plans to conduct an autopsy. And all that had been publicly said by officials about the legality of these killings, that the 5 babies' remains were recovered, but they were aborted in accordance with the D.C. law, which allows abortions up to 9 months. So again, I want to thank my colleagues for intervening, for everyone gathering here today in the name of the most precious, most fundamental of rights that we have, the right to life. And we're calling for transparency for how these babies were killed. The American people should know if federal law was broken right here in this Washington, D.C. in these tragic cases. We all know life begins at conception. The science confirms that, period. We should protect life from conception, let alone to investigate and hold accountable those who may have perpetrated the most heinous of abortion crime, or even allowing babies born alive to die there in the so-called medical facility. So I join my colleagues in calling on the House and the Senate to call for an autopsy on these 5 precious Americans who were not afforded the liberty that we enjoy today.